I'm Bea.
And I'm Sam.
And we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan,
And sometimes books.
Join us every Wednesday for a new episode.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. A bit more warm. We had little breaks in between recording.
Yeah, we're doing 3 episodes tonight. All you can see is his groin right next to you.
You know me. Love a bit of groin. Particularly High Lord.
That'll be a bookshelf soon.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. Sand isn't staying, unfortunately.
I don't think it's unfortunate. I don't think there's anything unfortunate about that.
No, unfortunate that he's not staying.
Oh, yeah, it is unfortunate he's not staying. But, like,
he warms me up.
I bet he does.
Yeah, let me tell you.
This was for anyone, so behind me right now, for people listening, not that anybody isn't listening because we don't release this as a full video. God, I had one sip of booze in your house and I lost my head again. Behind me tonight for recording is Sam's blanket that I bought her as a housewarming present, which is our High Lord of the Night Court Resand in the nude.
Yeah, if you watch the Everseas unboxing that I did,
Yeah.
I flash him on that.
Ooh. And so like, again, huge thanks to our Patreon, but because of our Patreon we are working on our recording space, so we'll not use the S word.
Studio.
And my backdrop has yet to arrive, so we're using our High Lord of the Night Court as a replacement for today's purposes. And like we said, we're recording 3 episodes back to back today, so you've got a lot of High Lord of the Night Court crotch in these clips.
Not that anybody is complaining.
Absolutely not. I need to get myself one of those.
You need to send me the shop that you got it from.
It's Redbubble, but I'll send you the artist.
Cool.
So, like we said, and we kind of mentioned this in one of our December episodes, because of the holiday season, we have been bulk recording. So this episode and next week's episode, we're not going to be doing our usual intros. We're like, what are you reading? Because it's no different to last week.
Yeah, if you want to know what we're reading, go back and listen to Best Reads of 2024, because it's exactly the same, because we recorded that not 20 minutes ago.
Yes, we did. But today we are taking a dive.
Taking a voyage.
A deep dive into the Everseas, because so again, in the world of podcasting, we have interviewed LJ Andrews, but it hasn't come out yet. So that is coming out at the end of Jan, if I'm correct.
21st of January.
There we go. So we're doing the Ever King, the Ever Queen, and then we're speaking to LJ herself. We know that in terms of LJ Andrew books, we're kind of starting towards the end.
Yes.
So she actually has 9 books out initially, which are kind of like, they're not prequels to the Ever King and Ever Queen because they're kind of spin-offs.
Yeah.
But I've read the first 3 in that series. You haven't read any. You just
all on my TBR.
You went straight into the Ever King and Ever Queen, as probably a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of success, the Ever King and Ever Queen are probably her more commercially successful books. And I actually got the Ever Queen as an arc. The first ever arc the little baby book talker me got was the Ever Queen. I was fucking gobsmacked when I got the email.
What a lucky girly.
I was sat in Costa and he dropped my hot chocolate. And I would have been invoicing LJ for £6.95 because cost of living crisis, babe.
Yeah.
What's the acronym for cost of living crisis?
Aussie lives.
Aussie lives. I love it. It's not, I shouldn't love it because it's not funny. It's actually really sad. But I love a little Cosy lives.
It's just the Brits, and we'll like abbreviate anything.
Aussie lives. Yeah. Like FML.
Yeah.
Or PMSL. I don't know if we invented those, but I'm just saying that we did.
Okay.
Anything little fun tidbits we've got to say today before we go into the main episode as our little intros? Because we're lacking in intros, unfortunately.
This is a problem with bulk recording, isn't it? I just tried to make a Christmas cocktail and it absolutely flopped.
Sam mistakenly purchased.
No, I didn't. Steve did. I didn't want to blame him in the house because he'd be like, I picked something up for you and this is the thanks I get. So that's why I just kept
quiet. But now we're out here and we can at him without him knowing.
Yeah, Steve picked it up. So
the Christmas, we've got so again, when you're listening to this, it's way past Christmas, but the time recording, it's before Christmas. our group of friends, we're doing a little Christmas cocktail evening on Friday, and we're pairing up to make them, which means Sam is making it. I have put in zero effort into this. Absolutely. To be fair, though, in the last one of these that we did for a friend's hen party, I literally dragged my teammates along. So I feel like, you know, but Sam's basically making a cocktail and I'm just the pretty face that serves it. But we just did a little test and it wasn't good.
No.
You had cranberry juice drink as opposed to cranberry juice.
Steve's fault.
Yeah.
I'll take none of the blame, sorry.
But yeah, so we just had a swig of that and it was stinking, no offense.
None taken.
It was not
Steve's fault.
Not the vibe. But yeah, like, so not much is really happening in our lives in the mental weird world of recording because it's before Christmas and we've both recorded so much.
He's had about 3 hours sleep in the last 4 days.
Oh yeah, I'm currently going through the transitioning my toddler from a crib to a bed. And it is.
She thinks it means that she can get up and wander the house.
The thing is, right, so this is the fourth night, so it's been 3 nights. The first night she woke like whatever time and like she was clearly upset and came in. I actually don't mind her sleeping in with us. Like, we have a super king bed. Like, it's not the best night's sleep, but if it means I sleep, she's old enough now that there's no concern over there being like any safety issues. I just think when you have a toddler, you're just at peace with the fact that like you're sharing your bed with them until they're like 7. It isn't that bothers me. It's a last night where she comes in and she won't go to sleep because she thinks it's morning. So, and she resorts to when we don't answer her because we're like not ignoring her, we're just trying to sleep. So we're trying to like not, because she's just asking silly things. She doesn't need anything. She uses our first names to try and get our attention.
I think that's fucking hilarious.
So she was going like, Bethan at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, me and you. So,
anyway,
yeah, we're nothing exciting because we've bulk recorded so much, guys. We're sorry, but to have us here,
we wanted to have Christmas off.
Oh, as of right now, like in terms of when you're listening to this, tell you why we had to bulk record for this reason. Because what's happening is I'm writing.
Yeah,
I wonder how that's going, future me.
He's taking a writing hiatus, and once we get to the end of January, I'm allowed to read whatever she's written.
So I'm hoping that draft 1 of Daughter of Stone will be done by the end of Jan, and I can have it in your physical hands and give it to you and say, here you go, read this fucker.
And I'll be crying with happiness because I'll be so proud of my best friend.
I'm gonna like
scowl at me. I'm trying to be nice to you.
I'm gonna insert a sound clip here of like, how's it going, future B? And then it's me going, fucking terrible.
Oh, you'll be like, yeah, smash this, done.
Like, I'm gonna wash my hair, like 6 coffee cups piled up in my office, me just like a gremlin like this.
Okay, we get started.
Yes, so The Ever King
by L.J. Andrews.
Yes.
This book, obviously, we meet Livia Ferris,
yeah.
Who, if you've read the Broken Kingdom series, you've already met Mum and Dad.
Oh, Mum and Dad, sorry, not her, yeah.
No, yeah, you've already met Mum and Dad. And you meet Erik Bloodsinger.
So again, if you're listening to this, you either don't care about spoilers or you've read The Ever King. We're not going to talk about The Ever Queen in this episode. That'll be next week. But like to jump ahead, but we always do because we don't do these linear-esque. He's not in my top 5 of MMCs, right? But that doesn't mean anything because like it's a big competition.
There's a big pool to pull from.
Big old fucking pool of horny, sexy men. But Erik Bloodsinger does things to me that no other MMC does. He's really bad. Like evil.
Well, his blood is poison. So, like, if someone's pissing him off, he'll just slit his hand open and rub his blood in their face.
And he does.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, this is not a spoiler for ACTA, but whereas like a Rhysand has done bad things, but he does feel guilty for doing them.
Yeah, and we don't see him do that much bad.
No, but Erik honestly lives for it.
Yeah.
And again, like we're jumping way ahead, but that's what we do. Even when he does eventually fall, no, I think he falls first, personally.
Yeah,
even though he doesn't, I think because of his past trauma, he doesn't know how he feels. But if you were to like dissect it, he's so in love with Livia.
Yeah.
Like he has been for like forever.
Yeah.
It's not like when characters like get together and they're like, oh, I want to be like a better person. Like he doesn't like learn. He's just as terrible once they kind of get together as he is before they're together.
Yeah, well, it maybe even worse once they're together because
Yeah.
anyone looks at her and he's like, I'll fucking slit your throat.
Literally. Like, anyone lays a finger on her,
Or like looks at her for too long,
Yeah.
like dead.
if you had, like, in the Bookstagram, Book Talk, in the Romantasy dictionary,
Yeah.
if you were to look under the definition of touch her and die in the dictionary, it says Erik Bloodsinger. That's
Yeah.
all it says. That's all you need to say. Because he is the definition of that trope.
And he's so fucking hot.
Do you know what, right? So this is, when I first started reading this, I actually had a bit of a hard time. So when I read it, Everking, so I read the Everqueen, sorry, I read the Everking first, but I read it when the Everqueen came out. So the Everking hadn't been out very long. So there really wasn't much like art in
Yeah.
Erik. There was one or two bits, but not very much. Since then, there's obviously a lot more now. But I really struggled to visualize what he looked like. And I really struggled to get on board with the fact that he was hot. And I know I need to learn my lesson about this because I do this quite often when, like, I don't think people are hot and they really are. But I really struggle to find his hotness. But then when Erik's hotness isn't, I'm not saying that he's not hot physically, because he is, but even if he wasn't, it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
His hotness is how fucking nuts he is.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, do you know sometimes when they're like describing a male character talking and they say like, oh, the timbre of his voice, like even that gets me going with Erik Bloodsinger, thinking of his like gravelly voice saying hello love, like
he gives me, not a spoiler, but a bit of like a Kaz Brecker vibe.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's so fucking hot. Anyway,
I just need to hold some space with that thought for a minute. The red eyes.
Yes.
It's also something that I struggle. Again, this is the thing, I was like, I don't know, like red eyes, like, but yeah, I mean,
I think that's the Scorpio in me, like getting behind red eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, I normally like a bit of dark. Like, I don't feel like I'm particularly vanilla with my MMCs, but yeah, I don't know with Erik. It was in the beginning, it took me a real while to get into it, and it wasn't until, which I'm almost positive this is a scene in the Everking, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you know when they go to that kind of like tavern/tower place?
Yeah.
Remind me, is it a tower or is it like a,
The tower.
And there's like a pub at the bottom, and then up above there's rooms basically. Yeah. And am I right in saying that Livia kind of gets enchanted by like a
sea shanty?
Yeah, like a mermaidy.
No.
Oh,
it's a man, like a little old man, but that's his power.
Oh, I didn't think he was old. I thought he was sexy.
No.
Oh.
No, I think she finds him sexy because
but he isn't.
No, I'm sure it's like a little old man where Erik kills him, doesn't he? So,
but she basically gets like enthralled by this, like that's their magic, is they can make people fall in love with them by, like, a siren.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for. And then, like, how does she end upstairs? How does that happen? Does he take her upstairs? Like,
well, yeah, because she has to be healed.
Why was she hurt?
You have to like get the song up to them.
Ah, right, okay.
But he carries her, and she's like dry humping him, licking his neck.
Yeah, wild.
So he puts her to bed. A healer comes, checks her over, and gives her like a potion.
Okay,
let's say. I can't think what the right term is.
Yeah.
And then he comes back to visit her, and she's really embarrassed and stuff. And then he dives his face between her legs.
And I think that's where I was like, okay. I get it. But I did really struggle to get. I think honestly, of all the MMCs we've ever read, that was probably one of the ones that took the longest for me to really like get behind.
He's so hot. So to go back to the beginning.
Okay. This
book, obviously, it starts them as children, and she's reading him the story of the serpent and the songbird.
What I will say, if you've listened to us for a while, you'll know this. If not, I'll tell you again now. I'm not a fan of nicknames. I'm not a fan of pet names.
Okay.
I feel like this drives hard with the pet name.
Yeah.
I don't hate the like concept of why, but does she call him Serpent? I think she does, doesn't she?
I think in the beginning, but then like once they're like lovey-dovey, then no, not anymore.
Okay. Because I just don't love how much she uses Songbird. Sorry. I don't love it.
But then it's the same in Miss Thief, and you loved that.
I don't think it's as much in Miss Thief.
Nightmare Prince and what do you call it?
My Storm. No, my Flame. Flame?
Fire.
My Fire.
No, just Fire.
Yeah, see, now that I feel like doesn't bother me in the pet name world.
Anywho, it starts with her reading him the story of the songbird and the serpent. And I think the story goes that the serpent kills the songbird.
Yeah.
And she changes the ending and reads it to him. and like they become friends, and then he gives her his father's mantle and tells her it's really important, look after it.
Yeah.
He only fucking trips over and breaks it straight away.
know. Also,
fucking idiot.
They're friends because he's captured
by her father.
which so in the first 3 Broken Kingdoms, it's not in the first 3.
Yeah, it's in book 6.
Yeah, if you read on, it crosses over, but obviously I didn't get that far.
But yeah, they're friends, and then he gives it and says like, this is really important to my family, and she fucking falls on it and breaks it within like 5 minutes.
And is that what triggers him coming to get her?
Yeah, so it's calling to him, but when she falls and breaks it, the curse or the charm or whatever that's in the mantle goes into her.
Right.
So she's the mantle for the Everseas.
To heal the land?
No.
Oh.
Just like, I don't know what the mantle is.
Okay.
Anywho, in this book, we meet Alexei, Mira,
Yeah.
Jonas, and Sander.
Yeah, because we haven't met them before.
No.
Maybe only as children, but not as like adults.
Oh my god, they're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like bantery, cousin love, like
I'm not
Jonas being a bit of a rake. Oh, I just love it all.
Yeah, I love a rake. Like I know that I shouldn't, but I love it. So again, this isn't a spoiler, but like if you kind of, this is not a spoiler because you would sort of know, you could know the premise of Misty without spoiling it. But like I thought Mira and Jonas were going to be a thing when I read this book.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I was like, oh my god, they definitely ended up together. Obviously that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, Mira and Jonas, there's way too much sexual chemistry there.
Yeah.
I know you find out further down the line that none of them really feel like that towards each other. It's much of like a family vibe.
Yeah, they all think they're cousins, even though they're not technically. Some of them are, but yeah, not all of them are. But they all just like think of each other as cousins.
Yeah, but I was convinced that was going to be a thing.
Anyway, they're all together for something because obviously they all live in different realms in the Fey world.
Yeah.
But they're all at one castle together for an event.
Yeah.
And they're playing on the beach in the night. So this like is like flash forward like 20 years. They're all like 20 now. They're not kids anymore. And they dare her to swim out to the sea.
Yeah.
And she obviously touches the barrier. And because she's the mantle, gone.
And it means, so that again, another wonderful thing with L.J. Andrews' world building, how clever this is that there's almost like I feel like it's like a vortex that takes you from like the seas of the Earth Fey Kingdom through this like vortex. It's a bit like, you know, the EAC in Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
And then you come out the other side in the Ever Seas or Ever Kingdom. But yeah, they've never been able to cross up until that point. And
well, they had, and then the war happened.
Yeah, and then it gets like shut off.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
as when she was a child, it got shut off.
And then Olivia breaks it. And then
she does.
Erik Bloodsinger's like, get your fucking bags, we're going shopping.
Yeah, well, he comes during the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to take somebody back to my room. I've never done it before. I've never been with a man. Yeah. And it ends up being bloody Erik. And he's like got his hands under her dress up against the wall, like in the corridor to her room.
Yeah.
And then his people start attacking.
Yeah. But it's love
rough.
It is rough, but like, he's so bad, but I love it.
I know, he's so good.
Again, this isn't a spoiler, but this gives me vibes at this point in the book of like, you know, in the first From Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
When Hawk, like, kind of you find out that he's kidnapped Poppy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So hot. Yeah, and he steals her away to the Ever.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like the whole premise of book 1, really.
Yeah.
And it's touched upon in Miss Thief, but like, when we say her family and friends were fuming that this happened... Because they are like, because like Erik Bloodsinger's reputation is that he's nuts. His father was known for being fucking nuts, and he features in the first series. And like Erik Bloodsinger is just as bad, if not kind of worse, if not has a bit of a worse reputation. Yeah. So Livia getting kidnapped, by no means does anybody think that's going to turn out well.
No.
They are like convinced that she's dead, basically.
Yep.
And they can't get to her because they can't cross through the portal EAC.
Yeah. And then we meet Celine Tidecaller.
Yeah, so like probably talking about Celine is a good time to bring up, but like the magic system in this is so interesting and unique to the Ever. So you don't it's kind of mentioned in the Broken Kingdom series, but not in detail.
Yeah.
But in the Everseas, basically everybody doesn't have a surname.
Yeah.
Their surname is their power. So like blood singer is pretty much like, well, I say self-explanatory. If he touches your blood or his blood gets inside you, if his blood gets inside you, he boils you from the inside out and he starts to sing.
No, he sings to heal you.
Oh, sings to heal you.
Just blood kills you.
Kills you. Tide caller means she can send like messages through the waves, right?
Yeah, she can just shout down, Erik.
Oh,
Erik.
Erik. Put the kettle on. And then we have others. So
Heart Talker.
is that his cousin, Tate?
Yes.
That's not a spoiler that is his cousin. I think we know that straight away, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it Heart Walker? Heart Walker.
I can't remember because Mira calls it the wrong thing on
Mira
purpose.
makes fun of him on purpose. I can't remember now. Anyway, it's very unique in the magic system and the names that they get.
Yes. And we also don't really get kind of more than one person, really. Like, they obviously are. So nobody else really has the power of Erik.
Yeah, somebody's like Stormbringer or Storm.
Yeah.
Like, they can like cause rain and like people can affect the weather. People can affect the seas. People can like affect the boats. Like, yes, there's a lot of magics going on.
Yes.
And while they're sailing back to the Ever, because she doesn't want to just mooch around the boat.
Yeah.
He says, right, okay, you can work in the kitchen. And the little old man that works in the kitchen used to be like a seasoned fighter.
Yes.
Something happened.
Yeah.
And now his memories are a bit hazy and his speech is a bit all over the place.
Yes.
Like he speaks in riddles, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But he really likes Livia.
Yeah.
And they become quite friendly.
I know.
And when the boat comes under attack and she tries to save him and he gets stabbed and she's like doing everything she can and at that point Celine is like really overprotective of him and Livia's like weird, he's just the cook on your ship, but okay. More to come on that in the Everqueen.
Yeah, can't comment on that right now.
Yeah, but like even at that point, Livia's like, sus. But she helps him cook and they get a really nice relationship. She sort of starts to understand what he means when he says certain things.
Yeah, she starts to like pick up on the way, because he does communicate, but he just communicates in his own way.
Yeah.
And obviously like Erik and everyone else have known him for such a long time, they just understand him.
Yeah.
So yeah, she does start to get used to the way he words things.
Their little friendship is so lovely to me. She's scared. Like she's in the Ever. She doesn't know anyone. She doesn't know what he wants her for. So she doesn't know why she's there.
And we don't find that out until quite late into book one, really, do we?
So she's just like scared on her own. Like nobody's nasty to her, but nobody's nice to her either.
No.
And then this little old man, they just form a little bond, and it's so
cute.
So sweet.
So we do eventually find out really what Erik has in store for Livia.
They're going back to the Ever. He gets a call to say this bad guy is setting fire to a village and like ransacking it.
Okay.
So they divert to there.
Okay.
And they're all like squabbling about what to do. They're all on the beach squabbling. And Livia just wanders off on her own. Sees the they call it the blight, is it? That's affecting the land. And she's like, well, I'm an earth fae and that's my thing. I can like grow flowers and stuff. Maybe I can heal it. So she sits on the floor and starts healing the land. They all turn around and they're like, what the fuck? And then he's like, oh, maybe I can use her to try and push back some of the blight because it's taken over.
Yeah.
She says, so they say it's a curse from the Fey realms when they locked the seas.
Okay.
That it's a curse. And she's like, I think this is man-made. I can see the outline of a figure. Like, because when she's doing it, she gets like transported into like a trance.
Someone doing it.
And she said, I can see like a man, like a blurry figure. She said, I don't think this is a curse. Somebody's done this. Like, this is a person. And he's like, And then it's the rest of the story is basically her going with him, healing the land, her falling in love with him falling in love with her. And then it finishes with her getting kidnapped.
Yes.
By his brother.
I thought she gets kidnapped by the elves.
No, she gets kidnapped by his brother who's working with a guy who's working with the elves.
Ah, okay.
Because
Okay.
then they take her to the Mist Island.
Mist Island,
Nat
yeah.
Haven, is it?
Yeah, Nat Haven.
Yeah. Well, that's all
okay.
book 2 then.
Okay.
But yeah, she gets kidnapped. So his Erik Bloodsinger's brother double crosses her, but you don't know it's his brother. Erik doesn't know it's his brother because he doesn't know he had a brother.
We find that out that it's his brother in book 2, right?
No, I think end of book 1 we figure out it's his brother.
Okay, well, I feel like it's a duology, so guys, I'm sorry if you read just the Other King and we've spoiled that for you, but
anywho, we forgot to talk about they form a bond together. Like something happens, and they can like sense each other.
Oh yeah, okay, I do remember this sort of. Yeah.
And like I don't know, something obviously profound happens between them. Because
aren't they like heart mates? Like they call it like heart something. One thing I will say about this, which when I started reading this, I was a bit like, oh, don't think I'm gonna like this. I don't usually like when the FMC is a virgin.
Okay.
And he's not. I don't usually love that. Like, I just feel like sometimes it's not that I don't like when people are like, it is what it is. If they haven't done it, they haven't done it. But you know, when there's like too much of a thing on it.
Yeah.
And when it's mentioned about Livia, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. But I actually thought that like LJ did it really well.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there was too much of like a focus on it. Like it was just a fact. It is what it is, and fine.
How sweet is it that his bedroom like overlooks his mother's garden?
Yeah.
And he's just like let it all overgrow and stuff. And she goes out and heals it all and like turns it back into a garden.
I know.
Also the fact that his father made him kill his mother.
I didn't remember that. I knew that he was covered in scars and his dad did really bad things to him.
Well,
because he's like tortured, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
But no, I don't remember that he kills his mother.
Well, like his father's killing her and he hasn't got enough time to save her, like by singing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because his dad's whole thing is that he's trying to make him into a monster.
Oh my God.
Like he wants him to be this like formidable.
He thinks
like...
he's like a mammy's boy and that's why he does it. That's awful. And that's why, if you remember, his grandmother doesn't like him because she knows that he killed her daughter.
Yes.
If you remember, there's quite a rift between him and
his grandmother is like the head of a type of people, isn't she?
It's
like,
almost like witch sea fae.
She's basically like a witch sea witch,
and she's like the head of the coven.
That's his mum's mum.
Yeah, but like she doesn't, they don't have a relationship because he killed her daughter. Oh, this book is rough, man.
Yeah. And do you know what? Again, when I started reading this and I was like, because obviously I knew that it would be Fae because I read LJ's other work.
Yeah.
But then when I was like, this is my first ever pirate fantasy book. And I was a bit like, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. And I have read other pirate bits and I've been a bit like, But again, like LJ just, she just sells me on everything.
Yeah, pirates do it for me now. And Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, because the first series is a bit more Viking-y focused.
Yeah.
Certainly, Livia's mum and dad is much more Viking.
Yeah.
There's no pirate in that. But yeah, do you know what? Actually, LJ Andrews my first ever Viking Fae book as well. She's been my first for many a thing.
Aye. Talking about not liking virgins.
I was a pirate and a Viking virgin before LJ Andrews. Whenever I read these on the tin, not anymore because like she's an insta-buy author for me, but before that, when I first started reading LJ, and she was like, if I go back on my Goodreads, the first 3 books I read really early in, like it was like, I want to say like I did Akatar, Blood and Ash, Crescent City, and then I think I did this. It was like one of the first things I ever read. I remember seeing it and like, I'll give it a go, but being like, well, I don't know, Vikings, pirates, Fae, like not for me. And then I read it and I'm like, oh, this is now my personality.
I'm sold.
Sign me up. Call me Scaddy. Shave the sides of my head and plait my hair.
Stunning.
Yeah, I mean, these books are a fucking delight. And
they are.
I've like just what I was reading about lots of people's comments and reviews is Erik really is like, I feel like everybody feels the same as we feel about Erik, is that when you first read him, you're like, oh, I don't know if he's going to be a bit too like gruesome for me. And he is. He's really terrible. I'm obsessed with that.
Sold.
I'm so obsessed with him. And I think as well, like I've not read, like I said, I haven't read the last 6 books in the Broken Kingdoms. But not that you would think Livia's dad would be the same, because they're not. But like from what I've read of LJ's earlier stuff, her MMCs are not like that.
Yeah.
They're not like that at all.
Yeah.
So when you get Erik, he's really like polarizing, you know? But I love him.
Yeah. But anyway, she gets taken.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to go to the Feylands to ask her dad for help to get her back. And it ends with them getting kidnapped in the Feylands. They all fall into traps, and that's how it ends.
Oh God, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Who kidnaps them?
Her mum and dad.
Oh, it's her mum
like
and dad.
their
Right,
army.
Okay. Okay.
They like fall into these like traps in the floor and all get taken to the castle, and that's how it ends. And he's like, we haven't got time for this. Like, you need to come and save her with me.
Yeah.
But they're like disputing it. But obviously, Alexei is trying to stick up for him because he's been in the sea
and seen that
he's been in the Ever with them and seen that, like, no, they actually love each other.
Well, yeah, because obviously when he shows up on her parents' door and he's like, she's been kidnapped, they're like, yeah, we fucking know by you. Yeah. And he's like, no, she's been
no second time.
No, doubly kidnapped. Yeah, I was the first one to kidnap her, but she's been kidnapped from me.
At the end of this book, before she gets kidnapped, he announces her as the queen, doesn't he?
Does he?
In the middle of like the ballroom.
It's hard for me.
And he's like, make a throne for her.
Oh, I thought that was book 2.
No, because when she comes back then from being kidnapped, when they've saved her, she comes back, the guy who's like tied to his castle.
Yeah, they're like,
he's like died there or something, so he's tied to the house, he can't leave.
Okay.
He's like, Miss Livia, come and see your throne, because like obviously he's had it made for her and she's never seen it because she got kidnapped.
He's so obsessed with her. Like the fact that like they've been childhood friends and that's all he's ever thought. And he says like when they're talking about like intimacy, because obviously he really struggles, that he never like looks at anyone, he doesn't kiss them, he just does it to get it like out of his system.
Like, just shags them.
He just like bends them over, like don't touch me, don't look at me.
And, like always like faced away.
He doesn't like look at anyone, like, he doesn't like
it's almost like transactional.
He's got deep issues and like
but he talks to Livia about
them.
I know. And like,
he's the definition of like, but daddy, I love him, and he's like a fucking monster. That's Erik Bloodsinger. She's like, daddy, I love him, and he's literally like a fucking blood curdling, red eyed like
bones hanging off him.
Yeah, literally like having scars, like pirate fucking fey monster. And she's like, I love him. And they're like, okay, because she is like, again, it's obviously, well, it wouldn't be Alexei because she is actually blood cousins with Alexei, so that would be creepy. But Jonas and Sander, it's said that like they don't really have an interest in him in that way, but like she's very beautiful. Like Livia is really beautiful. And the fact that she's like, yeah, I'm just obsessed. This is who I want. Like this like blood.
Tell me I can't have him, Dad. Go on.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right. I think that is such a big thing about like, I think you really get like, not that I think Livia has a particularly closeted upbringing because I kind of know the characters of her parents, but I do think that her choosing Erik Bloodsinger or like taking that deep dive is almost like a rebellion thing, because she knows that her parents would be so angry. Well, they are. Takes them a while to warm up. Not a spoiler for book 2, but but it's a bit of a thing for her parents. Like they don't take very kindly to it.
But her mum really likes Erik.
She comes round a bit quicker than her dad. Yeah, not a spoiler for book 2, but she does. But then, if you kind of knew their story,
I think her mum, I don't know, is like really good at reading intentions.
Yeah, she's a good like good moral compass. I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, but so we end up with Livia being doubly kidnapped. I've already been kidnapped once. Fucking hell. If you think, going back to his brother, the reason they end up on that mist island is because he's working with the elves, isn't he, to overthrow
the light prince that Skadi's promised to. I think that's who she's
Arion.
With. Yes.
Yeah,
that's who he's working with. I just couldn't remember. I don't know why in my brain I have like 2 versions of what happens. I either thought that his brother was this like person that he never knew existed, but was always like trying to fuck him over and was like waiting for the time to be like, "Ooh, I'm your brother." Or
no, he was part of the crew.
Yeah, and then now you've said that, I'm like, oh yeah, no, he was a part of his crew. And then that's why I got confused, because when we were reading Miss Thief and they were talking about Tate, and then like he's his cousin, I was like, wait, wasn't he the one that betrayed him? But like that's where I got a bit like,
I can't think of the guy's name.
So you always knew Tate was his cousin. That was always known.
Yeah.
And then he didn't know
like a certain person on the guard.
He just thought he was a random person. Yeah, okay. That kind of rings a bell now. Yeah.
But it is somebody that he thinks is really loyal. So he leaves him in charge of looking after Livia while he goes to sort something, and then he double crosses him.
But they don't have the same mum, right?
No, it's the same dad.
Older or younger, the brother?
Older. That's why he thinks that he is entitled
to the throne because he's technically his firstborn son. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's Olivia.
Yes.
And
I mean,
the
also,
ringer in that book.
Yeah, I mean, this is jumping ahead, but then she goes through the ringer when she's with the elves.
Yeah, but also in this book, obviously somebody tries to attack her and murder her in the gardens, and she's never used her magic for bad. She's only used it to like bloom flowers and regrow like vegetation. But she shoots thorns up to the ground and like stabs them through.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
Isn't there a scene where they bang in like a cove?
Yeah?
I feel like there's a cove bang scene. I think the bed bang scene in my brain is book 2.
But they bang before it goes at the gardens. I remember that.
Oh, so maybe it's not. Maybe that is in book 1. He has a bad knee, doesn't he? Or like a bad hip. He walks with a slight limp.
But he won't show it, will he?
No, I think he...
No, he tries not to show it because, like, and she, in the beginning, she thinks it's because she kicked him, and she's like chuffed. She's like, yeah, I got one in because he's limping. But then, like, obviously, as the book goes on, she realizes, like, oh, this might be like an old injury. I don't think that was from me.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she's fucking chuffed. She's like, ha, hurt him.
I think because of the upbringing that she's had, being like she hasn't up until this point had to go through any trials or tribulations. She had quite a sheltered life. She's quite delulu, but in a really funny way. Like, she's really funny. She's really enjoyable.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I think because a lot of I suppose maybe it's a bit different. Her mum's story is quite similar, I guess. But generally, when we get books with an FMC, if they're going to become like a princess, that tends to be like after the fact.
Yeah.
You don't usually get somebody that's like born a princess, because it does give off a vibe of like they're just a bit spoiled and entitled. And like she kind of is at times, but in a really endearing way.
Yeah.
And like what I love is that you have that, like, she's probably has been a bit spoiled in her life, had everything she's ever wanted. Probably is a bit whingy, but then Erik Bloodsinger just like cuts it off. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does not take any crap off her, but also is so low-key obsessed and in love with her. I just love that dynamic. Yeah, I kind of love it. It definitely gives me like the dynamic a little bit, not so much with the man, but you know, in Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, Elizabeth, you know, she's quite like spoilt and a bit like not annoying, but that's what Livia gives me the vibes of, and I love it. And I love by the end of it, like, and the cameos we get of her in Miss Thief, which isn't a spoiler, but you do get cameos of her. She's just got like a pirate like scarf on. Yeah,
this is the thing. Like, she like really like takes it all.
Yeah,
like,
she does.
She's like got the headscarf on. She's got the jewelry on.
Yeah,
she's like dressed like a pirate. Like, yeah, she like embodies it. Then once she like is a part of it, she is like a part of it.
Yes, agreed. I agree. Love it.
Hate me, curse me, I cared little, so long as I was the first thought of her day and the last of her night. He's obsessed with her.
Yeah, he is.
I am in your hands, I am at your command, for you have made me love you, and you will be my destruction because of it.
Is that what he says? He defo falls first.
This. Oh, God, this quote fucking breaks me. It's after that scene you were on about when she gets enthralled by the siren.
Yeah.
Hate me all you want, but don't regret me. Promise me that. Don't regret me.
Because I think everybody else, that's how everybody else has ever seen him.
Yeah. When I claim that moment of bravery, it will not be sudden. It will be slow. It will be well thought out. I will wait until I have you in my grasp. You may not even realize it has happened. In that moment, I will strike and watch you bleed.
Did she say that to him?
Oh, that's what he says to her.
Oh, God. Yeah, because I think Eric's way of showing love is that he gives off the vibe that he's going to murder her, but really he's just kind of obsessed with her.
So who are you, little bird? A rush of something dangerous hummed in my bones. Yours, I suppose, for a little while. Hot.
Woof woof.
You are not weak because of fears, but I will do what I can to help you wade between the fears that are plausible and the ones that are the mind trying to paralyze you. Because if you remember, Livia has really bad nightmares and like night trauma.
Ah, okay. And like
he tries to help her through it then.
Oh.
No.
We love a bit of trauma bonding. And no one has trauma like Erik Bloodsinger.
Yeah. I found my mantle songbird. It's you.
Aww.
He is so obsessed with her.
He is, but I forgot how much she refers to him as the serpent in this, and it is a big ick. I'm sorry. It's like a porn star name. Erik the Serpent Blood Singer.
Swinging his cock around.
Like, got a pizza delivery.
I might have been his destruction, but he was my ruin.
Oh, love them.
You, Erik Bloodsinger, are the kind of darkness I would follow across the skies and seas.
Yeah,
They ruled together. When one bent under the weight of their crown, the other would take it for them both.
Yeah, they are adorable. What did you rate this?
5-star.
Yeah, I think it was a 5-star for me as well. Definitely, if not, it would have only have been a 4, and then I think the second book a 5. As a duology, 100% a 5-star.
No, there's 1-star reviews.
Oh, go on, but I don't like it.
The dumbass FMC has the backbone of a crumbling sugar cookie. She has no ambitions, no cunning, not a shred of common sense, and absolutely nothing going on for her, apart from the fact that everyone around her just seems to love her, even though she has the personality of a dead, rotten fish that has been sitting under the sun for 4 days.
I wouldn't say that she has a bad personality,
Literally.
but I do agree that I do think, and you know, with all the like cousins as well, I think they all baby Livia. I do think she's babied, but that's why I actually think why her and Erik make such a good dynamic, because he literally takes like no shit.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I didn't know how to read, so I didn't have to read something that is as boring and uninteresting as this book.
No, that's
Boring.
nonsense. No, I won't have it. No.
Awful, boring, and annoying. No, what is wrong with people? The chemistry was absolute ass, and the FMC was an idiot. Too much shit about boats, and the lack of plot did not inspire me to learn about the damn boats.
Oh no, she is a bit of an idiot, but I love her.
I don't agree with any of these. I don't feel like I can read them. Because,
yeah, they make me sad.
Yeah.
So
it's a 5-star from me.
Yeah, it definitely. If I didn't give it a 5-star at the time, I'm rescinding my statement. It's a 5-star now. Yeah, I know this is we say this all the time. It's such a silly thing to describe, but like LJ Andrews' books are so readable.
Yeah,
they're just like quack, 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 quack. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Join us next week for the Everqueen.
Yes.
Although we might have spoiled some Everqueen stuff here today, and we're really sorry.
Yeah.
But
I don't think we have, though. I think everything I've said is Everking.
Okay, we can only hope. Imagine if there's a comment now like, I hadn't finished Everqueen and that didn't happen, and sorry. Oh well, now you know. So join us next week for the Everqueen, and then the following week for LJ herself. Although what we will say, because again, time of recording, we do talk a lot about the Ever in it, but also we do focus on Miss Thief. So we will say for that episode there will be spoilers for the Ever King, the Everqueen, and Miss Thief.
Yes.
Not necessarily the first 9, because
the Broken Kingdom.
Yeah, but we will say, like, purely because of like what's coming out and what she's just written.
Yeah.
We will say it's a bit of a spoiler for Miss Thief. So join us then. Anything else? So we're not adding.
I love Erik Bloodsinger.
Yar me yaris.
Yeah, oh no.
That's a cowboy.
That's a cowboy.
Arr. 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 He should have a hook.
Oh my god, stop it. He does have a hook.
No, he doesn't.
In his pants.
Okay. We've really not victimized, we've really sexualized Erik Bloodsinger tonight.
I feel really bad. And
Erik.
I keep looking we stand right in the eyes.
I'm looking at him right in something else.
Thanks so much for listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at A Pod of Smut and Wingspan.
See you next week.
Bye.